Good evening, everybody. Welcome to day 6 today of the 16 prosperities. Okay, and I'm just waiting to check my son. Okay, and then we can get started. Good evening, everyone. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். Today's session is on number 6. Number 6 is actually about துணிவு in Tamil, which actually means based on the article I gave you, this valor, but actually the word actually is courage. So today, prosperity number 6, I'm going to talk about the importance of courage and why courage is actually a prosperity. As compared to bravery, as compared to that kind of I think courage is a bit different. And so I will do the normal about what is courage, in the definition of the prosperity. How do you get courage? And then I'll of course finish off by talking to you about why the ancient, the olden days, people actually thought that courage is a prosperity that we should have out of the 16 prosperities. So let me start off with telling a bit of story. Then you can see what I mean by courage here. My wife, she studied. She got a degree from Vishamalaya, and then she did a DPET and became a teacher because she always wanted to. At that point in time, she wanted to be a lawyer. Then she ended up studying and becoming a teacher. Now she was a teacher, and she was a good teacher, right? But after a while, she didn't like teaching. And obviously, because she's in the government, her parents wanted to be a government servant, parents wanted to be a teacher, therefore that's the best job and whatever. And I kept encouraging her to leave. I said, leave, don't worry about it. I said, I will support you financially, don't worry about it, And she keeps telling me, no, I don't want to leave, on your income. I want to have my own income. Then I said, leave. But then she said, no, I don't think my parents will be very happy if I were to leave and all, Finally, what happened, she actually, I went to UK to do my master's degree, and then she followed me. And when we were there, she took the courage to send a letter to the Ministry of Education and said, I'm resigning. And that is courage. But you see, because she took the courage to send and said, okay, I'm going up, because she's coming out of a government job, pensionable job, and everything, she decided to leave the job. And of course, when I was in UK, she did a lot of diplomas and certificate programs while I was doing my MBA. And she came back, and then she worked in a bank, and then she worked in a training company, and then she set up her own business online. She started a business which have spread to many countries. Of course, now it's online because of the way the businesses have moved to online now. So she runs an online business platform. She's a CEO of her own company. Now she's a teacher, right? Ex-teacher, right? But she's a CEO of her own company. She makes a lot of money, let me tell you that. And she's also got business in 14 countries. And she's traveled a lot to many, many countries. She's spoken in many, many places. I go along with her to sometimes to help her out. But she's become what you call a CEO, a lady CEO, who's doing extremely well in her life. That is because she took the courage to resign when the time came, instead of saying, because a lot of people don't like their job, don't like what they're doing, but they don't have the courage to leave. They don't have to. Today, I'll talk to you why it's important that you need to, of course, do certain things before you decide what you want to do, because you don't want to also make a mistake, right? So the second person I want to talk to you about, so that is courage. The second person is that, remember, I was working in Banagara, and I had a lot of clericals in Banagara where I get them all accounting tuition, because as part of my boss and I, we collaborated to help the clerks to do ICSA and all. One of the ladies who left, I cannot mention her name. I didn't get a permission to talk about her, but I'm amazed with her because she was just a clerk then, and she has left Banagara subsequently. She actually worked in my same company as I in training. Then she went to US. Courage, huh? She went to US to get a certification, and she became a training consultant. Today, she runs her own talk show. She is doing programs, training programs. I would easily think that she can command 5,000 a day easily. So if she does training for even 5-6 days in a month, you can easily get about 30,000-40,000 ringgit. But what has happened is because she had the courage, even though she's there just as a clerk. Okay. Today morning, I was talking to another lady. Again, I want to talk about courage. And this lady called me up and said, Mr. Karthi, I'm a financial planner. So she said she this is courage as well. She was working for someone. She said, I hate working for people. So I wanted to do business. So she came into financial planning. Financial planning means insurance, unit trust, will writing, and all that. So became a financial planner. So she became a financial planner. But the reason she called me up and she says that I've joined financial planner because my boyfriend asked me to join. So I decided to join with him. But I find that the leader I have above me, my boss, is very demanding, he insists that I must do certain things in a certain way, and I don't like it. And she said, I really, this is, I left my job because I didn't want to be under somebody demanding things. And now I've got this guy who demands a lot of things, which if it's in his interest to develop me, I'm fine. But I realize it's not his interest to develop me, but more like he's the boss, I'm the employee, And I say, I didn't leave because that's so. She said, what should I do? I said, what do you want to do? So I gave her, in fact, it was like a practical thing. I was doing my notes. She called me. So I just went through whatever I'm preparing to talk to you all today. And I told her to do certain exercise. And I said, at the end of the day, this is what you need to do. Number one, either you confront him and tell him that, listen, I'm a businesswoman. I'm willing to do what I need to do, but you don't have to treat me like an employee. That's number one. So courage. He might not like it, but that's courage. Okay, I think you need to do it. Number two, you need to look at, there are so many other companies that is offering services for financial planners. Maybe you leave him because you just joined anyway. You just leave, join another company with someone who's more teachable or more better, and then do the whole thing, And so she said, oh my God, okay. I was telling her, I'm going to share your story tonight. She said, please go ahead, Mr. Kati, because I think that is what courage is all about. So courage is not about bravery. Courage is not about doing stupid things or doing things unnecessary, taking unnecessarily. That's not courage. Courage, okay, this is what the definition says of courage. Courage is acting in a way with calculated risk. I mean, you actually look at the pros and cons, a calculated risk, without overconfidence. You don't want to overconfident and do something and then feel stupid about doing it, right? Like, for example, if you leave a job, you must know that you can make it out there, But if you leave a job but if you can't make it out there, then you are in trouble. So you mustn't be overconfident. You have to do your homework first before you take up that. So courage is about being able to make the decision, not because you're stressed or because you're forced to, but because you realize that what you're doing is going to give you a better life, going to give you happiness, you feel safer, you live healthier. It makes your heart very at peace. And that means you're using courage. Now, that is why it's called a prosperity, because when you do that and you come out of whatever you're doing now, then you have a better life. Now, it could also mean in relationships. Maybe, relationship with your husband and wife maybe is not so good. So the lady or the guy does not know whether to leave or not to leave. And sometimes you've got to do some calculation and decide, should I leave or not? Because you don't want to be in the marriage and suffer, and you might need to make a decision to move out. But when you move out, the society will all come and say things like, oh, how could you walk away from your husband? Or how do you walk away from your wife? Or, how could you leave your children? Whatever they say. But this is where the courage comes in, because you need to measure it and think, would I want to suffer or go to, I don't know if you're abused or whatever. Or do I want to take the courage to come out and don't worry what the community says. I just want to make sure that I make a life for myself. Now, I've met a lot of single ladies. I've met a lot of single moms, single dads. And I think many of them had the courage to do what they need to do. I'm not here to say right or wrong about the courage activity. I'm just telling you that that's why it's called a prosperity, because a lot of people won't do. Just the courage could be as simple as going bungee jumping. You have the courage to, but of course, it does not help you in any way in terms of financial or whatever, but it gives you confidence, because once you jump and you feel you've done it, you feel, wow, if I can do bungee jumping, I can do skydiving. You see, confidence goes up, right? So that is the courage which is very important, because it's successful. Like recently, Elon Musk and Richard Branson, they actually flew to the space. I think you know that, right? Both of them flew to space. First time ever. Other than the astronauts, two civilians actually flew in with a few people. But you must remember, there have been cases where the rocket goes up and then explodes and people die. But they had the courage to say, no, I'm going to do it. I'm sure many, many times they would have thought, what if it explodes and I die, you see? So courage here is to be able to make decisions that will create a better life for you, happier life for you. That is the courage I'm talking about. Yeah? So that is courage, okay, in terms of our 16 prosperities. How do you get this courage? How do you, in case you don't have this courage, right? How do you get this courage? Okay, I'll give you, how many points? I've got 9 points, and I'll teach you how you can get the courage. And number one, before you make a decision, look at the different scenarios. That means you really need to look at where you are now and look at the scenarios that you could have. I'm working now, but if I do business, this is what I will do. and should I do or not? If I'm a businessman, what will happen to me? So you need to think about the different scenarios, and then only you need to think about, do I have the courage to do it? So, for example, if you're leaving a marriage, or if you need to, let's send your children overseas to study, you need to look at the thing that, oh, they're going to be alone. Is it okay for them? Do I have the money to send them? So all this needs to be, that's why you look at different scenarios, okay? And in line with that, you do number two. Number two is where, when you want to make a decision to decide, you need to take out an A4 paper, and take two A4 paper. And you put there to do or not to do, okay? Or you take one A4 paper, just put there, this is my decision. Then you put on top pros and cons. If I make this, like for example, this young girl who decided to leave a job to become a financial planner. So I told her, I said, when she wanted to make a decision, I said, listen, you write down, okay, I want to stay in my job, one paper, and then I want to leave and become a financial planner, another paper. Okay, then I said, okay, now you got two papers, divide into half, and I said, okay, stay in a job, put plus and minus. What is the plus? Pension, fixed salary, stable, 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah. What is the negative? Negative is that, no increment, no promotion, sometimes, biasness, pile kase. Okay, so you go into a business. What's the problem? No fixed income. So you need to do that kind of an assessment. That's number two. So first you look at different scenarios. Number two, do the assessment. Then only the courage will come. Because once you see it, you see your courage comes in. Number three is identify your strengths and weaknesses. Identify and see, what are you good at? Okay, you're doing something now. What are you good at? Like you say, I'm very good at singing. I think I want to do TikTok and become very famous, but then I'm working. So you need to look at it and say, okay, my strength is singing, right? So I want to do. So if you do a pro and con, maybe you'll realize that, maybe being a singer will make me a lot of money. Being in TikTok will make me a lot of money, So you need to identify your strengths and weaknesses, and then decide whether you should, because you don't want to leave when you want to be a singer and you want to be in TikTok, but you don't know anything about TikTok. You don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to market yourself. You don't know how to take photographs. You don't know how to hold your camera properly. So that's dangerous. So courage here is, you need to do all the analysis. Number four is, leave your comfort zone. You have to leave your comfort zone. You have to leave your comfort zone. That means you need to know, if you want to do something and you have the courage to do it, you are leaving something good to something better, but initially you're leaving something good. So when you leave something good, you must have courage. You must leave that comfort zone. And you always remember this. Always remember this. The rainbow only comes after thunder and lightning. If there's no thunder and lightning and heavy rain, there's no rainbow. Or not even heavy rain, light rain, but thunder and lightning might come. So when thunder and lightning comes, which is frightening, then the rainbow comes. So you see, sometimes that's what happens. Yeah. Number five. Is that number five? Number five. Admit your fears. We all have fears. Admit your fears. That means you want to move, but you admit it. I mean, oh my God, if I leave my job, my job, I don't have fixed salary, I got my car loan, I got my housing loan. Admit it. That's a fear we all have. And when you want to leave your job, like my wife, when she wanted to leave a job, her fear was, now I have to ask my husband for money. That was a fear. So admit the fear, but then you look into, what could I do about it? Like, if you want to become a public speaker, then you have the fear. Now what do? Then go and join Toastmasters and become a public speaker. Learn to it. Or you got a health challenge. Then admit it, that I'm overweight, so that now I need to have the courage to cut down all this food, cut down sugar, take all this kosong, take kosong tea, whatever kosong, and lose weight. Need to exercise. Understand that. Or if you feel that if you leave your job, like I told you now, work it out and decide what you have to do. Number six is accept new challenges. Accept any challenges that come to you. I want to tell you something. If let's say you're in a job, okay, and whenever your boss says, hey, I need you to do this one, I can or not, and you say, no, it's not part of my job description. Your boss says, hey, can you help out with that? Oh, no. 5 o'clock after that, I won't do anything. I don't know my job description. One of the things I did in Bank Negara is that when I was there, I was an auditor. But every now and then I get my boss call me, or this person call me, can you do this? Can you do that? I'll just do. I was not very happy, but then I was just an employee and they were all bigger people, so I do. But later on, I realized by doing that, I became very good in many things, which is why when I actually tendered my resignation, my boss called me up and said, don't resign. I want you to stay in. I will give you a scholarship to go to UK to do your MBA. Please stay in Bank Negara. Please stay in Bank Negara. This was about, I worked for 4 years there. I always tell these people, I mean, if your company is trying to think about who to be promoted, they will want to promote somebody who is willing to have the courage to do a lot of other things, learn a lot of things, not the person who only want to do what they want to do. You must remember that, because when they want to promote, they will look for an all-rounder. So you never know what you do today will help you in the future. So if you're the type, no, not my job, not my job, not my job, not my job, then you don't have the courage. Sometimes it's the fear you have, but you learn lah. Go and learn. If you learn it, then it's fine. But if you don't want to learn, then manabole. So if you learn it, then it's fine. So you got to learn it out so that you know what to do, isn't it? Yeah. So you got to learn it out, right? Number 7. Yeah, I got 10 actually. Number 7 is actually do Ho'oponopono. So if you want to have the courage to do something, before you do it, do Ho'oponopono. If you don't know Ho'oponopono, just go check my YouTube videos. Huh? So let's say now you want to leave a job. I actually have people who call me and say, I'm thinking about leaving my job, I said do Ho'oponopono. And when they do Ho'oponopono, job offers come. Like I have a lady who works in Pekeso now, and I know she did Ho'oponopono. I have a lady who is a teacher who was not happy with the teaching job. She did Ho'oponopono, and the universe will give you the answers. The universe will decide what you should do. Will have opportunities coming to you. So do Ho'oponopono. Really, really powerful. Because a lot of time when we go through a lot of suffering is because of karma. And the karma gets killed. Okay, number 8 is get skilled. If you need to do something, then get skilled. Go and learn. I mean, if you feel that, I want to, like my wife, she knows she wanted to leave a teaching job and she wanted to go into something else. What she did, she went and did a certificate in PR, certificate in marketing, diploma in, public speaking. So she does all that because you need to get skilled so the confidence will come. So go and get skilled. Number 9 is buddy system. Buddy system means when you want to do something like leaving a job, maybe find someone else who also is thinking the same thing. Then talk to them and say, you know what, you're going to leave, I also leave. Like, come on, we will go and maybe do something together. Go and be a financial planner. Go and join MLM. Do something there, because sometimes you have a buddy who can guide you and help you. So you want to have a buddy who can talk to you and guide you. That kind of thing. And the last one, number 10, is get a coach. Get a coach. Now, all of you are listening to me. I know my Facebook. I always give my phone number. You can always text me. A lot of people text me. I get hundreds and hundreds of messages every day from people, and I'll reply all the messages. You can always text me, Mr. Kadi, I want to do this. But of course, I'll ask you to do Ho'oponopono first. I'll ask you to go to my YouTube videos, because I feel that you need to cleanse your karma before I can advise you. But get a coach or go and talk to somebody who will be able to help you. So if you want to go into the insurance industry, go and talk to somebody. You want to go to MLM, go and talk to somebody who is in the MLM industry. But have the courage. Have the courage. Don't suffer in silence. Don't sit there and complain. I have this lady who has been texting me again and again that she works in a company. She's not happy with the company. She's stressed up. She's so upset. Every time she talk to me, I say, do Ho'oponopono and, leave your job. And she'll say, no, I'm scared to leave my job. So it's been it's been some time and she has not left the job. But my worry for her is because of your stress, you'll get cancer or you'll get sickness. You get all kind of things. Many people don't know stress is the one that causes cancer. So you sometimes need to have the courage and think, even if I were to move and take a lower pay, even have a move, so you need to remember that when you go inside, you're going to go outside, you can find a lot of things. Now, why a prosperity? Why is it 500 years ago they thought courage was a prosperity? Because we think about courage means, oh, I need to be brave, right? But why was it considered 16 prosperity? Why is it a prosperity? I'll tell you why. Number 1, when you have the courage and you do it, your self-confidence go up. You feel happier that you made decisions in life. Okay. Number 2, you look at different perspective in life now, because you've been working. Now you're going to business. Your perspective changes. You know what I mean? Number 3, definitely you are happier now. Okay, your happiness will go. Initial problem, stress will come, but after a while, if you know that you are happier. Most successful people are very courageous people. So you need to know, if you want to become successful, you cannot stay in one place and expect things to change. You need to move out. Janganlah macam kata di bawah tempurung. You know that, right? So you don't want to be a frog under the coconut shell that doesn't know anything about the world. So sometimes you want to be courageous enough to become successful. You'll inspire a lot of people. That's very important. Huh? When you decide to make decisions, you'll inspire your children. Your children will say, oh, my father, my mother, wow, inspire. My children are so inspired to do business because both me and my wife are in business, you see. So you become an inspiration to your family rather than, oh, my father worked in the government, I have to work in the government. You don't want to do that, right? So inspire others. Shows your conviction. When you take the courage and do something, it shows you're a person, in Tamil they call it, so you have conviction and you go have the courage and go and get it done rather than leadership. It shows your leadership. Okay, that you are a good leader, because all leaders must have courage. All leaders. Okay, if you look at our political scenario today, There's just no courage here. Everybody is trying to, do some hanky-panky stuff, and the courage is missing in many ways, So courage is very important. Leadership rather, not leadership there, okay? And finally, there's always strength in adversity. Strength in everything. That means only when you have got these problems and challenging situation where you need to use your courage, to do something, that's when the strength will come out in you. Because if every day bangun pagi, gosok gigi, pergi kerja, balik rumah, tidur, every day bangun pagi, gosok gigi, pergi kerja, balik rumah, tidur, that means get up in the morning, you go to work and, do the normal thing, there's no need for courage. Okay? And you become an X-file, as we say. So you don't earn that. So that's all for today. I want to finish up by telling you, courage is the most important of all virtues. Because without courage, you cannot practice any other virtues. If you want to go and do anything also, you need to have courage. You want to do jumping, bungee jumping, you need courage. You want to do skydiving, you need courage. You want to leave your job, you need courage. You want to take up exercise, you need courage. A lot of it, you need courage. You want to buy a car, you need courage. You want to buy a house, you need courage because you got commitments you pay. You want to have children, you need to have courage. You've got to take care of them. You want to go and study university and you need courage. And that courage is the one that you need in order for you. That's the reason why 500 years ago, they said courage is one of the 16 prosperity that a human being must have for a better life. So with that, I'll see you tomorrow for number 7, which is about respect. Respect, permai. So thank you very much. Stay safe, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, guys? Bye.